Been a lot of buzz around the network talking about when the real estate market is going to tank. Is it happening in 2001, quarter 3, quarter 4? Fact of the matter is no one really knows. At this point, it's all speculation. I will say there's a lot of factors that we're facing that our country has never had to face before. Example 1, hyperinflation. 40% of all dollars, all US dollars currently in circulation were printed last year alone. If that doesn't alarm you, I don't know what will. So what does this mean for the average United States consumer? It means that every single dollar, whether it be government handouts or hard-earned dollars that you're working for, every dollar in your pocket, because there's way more in circulation, is going to hold less monetary value. As you know, we are in the most competitive real estate market that I believe we've ever seen before. We're talking multiple offers, $30,000, $40,000 above asking price on any single house that comes into the market. This is uncharted territories. To layer on top of that, we have hedge fund buyers that are infiltrating the market, paying top dollar for houses, and really scooping these things up by the boatload. We're talking 30, 50 houses per market, multiplied times 10, 20 markets across the United States. So what does this mean for a consumer? I've been talking about this for a minute, but I believe over the next several years, affordable housing is going to be a thing of the past. A different form of affordable housing may be in place. We're talking big multi-family units where people can be housed by the masses. But for an average median income United States family to own a house, to have the opportunity of home ownership, is going to look much differently every time that the market corrects. Obviously, there's a larger separation in wealth. This time, let's multiply that times 10, because we're literally printing money, right? Government's printing money. Corporations are just vacuuming this and creating a suction cup, pulling it out of the market. US consumers are happy because we have these stimulus handouts. But what does that mean overall? I think it's a really, really nasty concoction that we're facing. So a lot of discussion, and definitely something that you want to be aware of moving forward. You want to be smart. Every time that the market cycles, every time we face a new recession or a market correction, as I stated, there's a larger separation in wealth. The wealthy become more wealthy and the poor become more poor. So adapting that mindset and making educated moves into the future is going to be paramount to your success and for the safety and security of your family. So I brought my buddy Michael in. Michael thinks next level. He's way more analytical, crunching numbers at a high level and really understand what that looks like. He's got a really interesting perspective when it comes to the US consumer mindset and what's really happening in the economy today.
Thanks, Ben. One of the things that you really have to consider right now as a smart investor, you really have to think about all the money that's been printed over the last year. Like Ben mentioned, over 40% of the US dollar was printed in this past year. So what does that mean, right? Inflation, hyperinflation. Matter of fact, a new report just came out that inflation is creeping up almost close to 6%. That's not good. It's not good for the consumer because the more money that's printed, the less it's worth, right? So you want to think about that from the federal government as a drug dealer and the US consumer as the drug addict. The federal government's been funneling drugs to the drug addict over the last year, pumping full of drugs. Now they're faced with a decision. Do they completely stop giving them the drugs, or do they pull it back a little bit? Now, from top economists are saying if the US government pulls the rug from the drug addict, then it's going to cause serious hyperinflation, interest rates 18% plus. So they're not going to do that, right? So they're going to slowly wean back that, which is really going to turn and impact the overall market. So what's the best investment? I'm not an expert, but we would say commodities.
Yeah, for sure. When he says commodities, like we're talking hard assets, real estate, gold, silver. I would assume cryptocurrency. I don't know if you could necessarily consider that a commodity, but definitely that's a space that investors are funneling their money because they're realizing, hey, the value of this dollar, this faith-based system that really has no backing, it's not backed by the gold standard. It's all an illusion, right? It's all a faith-based system that's controlled by central government, right? So what does that mean? I mean, hard assets is the play. And I think that's where we see these hedge fund buyers that are literally cleaning house. It's buying tons of single family real estate because they see that. And they say, you know what? If I can park my money in this money making asset and sit on that thing over time, it's going to accelerate my wealth while I'm bringing in cash flow at the same time.
Absolutely. And think about this too, man. As housing prices increase, as some of the largest hedge funds across the world are scooping up thousands of houses, what's that doing to the prices of the houses, or the houses pricing up? Is the normal consumer's income going to increase at that level? Probably not.
Absolutely not.
So like he mentioned, there's going to be a gap of folks that can't purchase homes. So what's that do for those investors that own those homes? Rent, leasing. It's a huge area of opportunity. So if you're thinking like a smart investor, invest like the smartest investors.
Yeah.
Right.
And you control the market at that point, right? Like you really do.
Mm-hmm.
You own the asset, you control that rent rate,
Absolutely.
whatever it looks like. And if you can afford it, great. If not, move into that high-rise apartment that we just stacked 10 levels high downtown Columbia, where we can basically keep people, institutionalize them, and control behaviors, and everything from that point. Like, if you guys are not awake yet, I encourage you just to start asking different questions, and as a result, you might find some new answers. So just start seeking, start preparing for what's to come, because one of the most important things for you to safeguard yourself and your livelihood is to see into the future and have an idea what's actually happening behind the scenes. So get out there, guys. You're only one step away from transforming your life for the greater. So get out there and take massive action towards your goals.